Hey everyone, it's Rogue Rage from Final Turn. We're here with, well, if you couldn't tell by the mat, self-promoting, go follow Zach Zag. We're here with Zach Zag. He was running his Spike Bros today, and I'm gonna let him talk and tell you guys how it did, because he's pro.
Alright, what's up, Vanguard people? So this is my top 8 list where we got the top 8.
Speak up a little bit.
We got the top 8, and then we lost, but that was the top 8 pin.
You got a pin?
Yeah, they give you pins now. So this is my Rising Nova build. So of course, first we have the starter. Mecha Trainer, he's a Conroe clone, so Counterblast 1, search your deck for anyone, put it in your hand, it goes to the drop. First is the 3s. Exceptional Expertise, Rising Nova. He's the bread and butter. It's almost always you want to run into this, except for when you have to G-assist. When you don't get into it, you have your backup grade 3. But this is GB2. Put a card from your hand in the soul. When he attacks, you get to search your deck for a Spike Brother, so you don't have to counterblast, which is nice. But the main appeal of him is when you stride, your stride guy gets the ability to counterblast 1, put a card from your hand in the soul to search your deck for any card, and put it on the field, and to give it +5. So he's very, very good. And then the only other grade 3, we play 4 copies of Hivemaker. Hivemaker is a very interesting guy. He has charge, so charge is when your unit comes during the battle phase, you can declare them in charge state. At the end of the battle, they attack, they go to the bottom of the deck. And his ability is GB1. If he's charging, when he goes back to the deck, you can counterblast 1, call a card from your hand. And if that card also has charge, then you start doing a lot of different things. His other secondary abilities, if he's played on the Vanguard circle, you get to Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, look at top 5 for a unit with charge, put it in your hand. So I managed to put up a Perfect Guard in my hand because of that, so all my Perfect Guards have charge. For 2s, we play 4 copies of Wing Killer Misery. She is the same ability as Rising Nova, basically, where if she's boosted and she attacks, Counterblast 1, put a card from your hand to the soul, search your deck for a Spike Brother, put it on the field. So this is all enter battle phase, so all of your units that you call could be in charge state. And she also gives them +5, so you get to swing a lot of times in one turn. Then we play 4 copies of Heavies. We play 4 copies because we don't play Bulldoze or Dobe. I just wanted to play the 4 Hivemakers because it opens up plays when you run out of soul and you still have Counterblast. This card is, if he's charging, he gets +10. So he's a 19k beater, 26 generally when you have the other abilities. Then last for the 2s, we play 2 copies of Dudley Mason. He is I don't need a GB1 or any effect. Generally your ideal ride target. Counterblast 1, when he hits, you get to put a card from your hand into the soul and search your deck for any Spike Brothers, so I try and set my board with it or try and be aggressive with them. Just 2 of them. I was really on the fence about playing a 10k vanilla in place of him. And when we play 2 copies of Cobalt Impulse. This is another charge unit, and his GB1 skill, when this attack hits a Vanguard, while he is charging, you can draw a card and choose an opponent's rear guard and retire it. So this kind of forces guards out of my opponent if I don't have enough to push for game and I want to make sure I get cards out of my hand. It was only relevant once or twice though. Then we have 1s. The best 1 of the deck, easily, is Frog Raider. Frog Raider is a GB1. When a unit with charge appears in front of it, so like with Wing Killer or your Vanguard, you get to, and he's rest, you can stand him. So if Cobalt Impulse comes to from the deck to the field, you call it, and you get to stand this rear guard. The kicker is, this combos very well with your stride fodder, or your strides. So it gets really, really big because you have a stride that gets +5 every time a unit leaves the field. So he becomes quite the threat. Then we play 4 PGs. This is the one with charge, so it only protects the Vanguard, and if you're GB1 and it hits, you get to discard a card from your hand and bring it back to your hand. So if you're doing your Miracle Ace rushdown and you have non-units with charge and they actually let you hit, you can discard that non-unit with charge, put this back in your hand, and then keep trying to go with the combo. I've almost never successfully been able to call it to the field and then get it to hit to go to my hand to try and pick up a perfect card. Almost never. Then we play 3 Stride Enablers. Only 3, because we have the Mecha Trainer who allows you to search your deck for any grade 1. So it's discard from your hand acts as the Stride Fodder. It's also very nice because if you don't get Rising Nova as your Vanguard, you can search for with Mecha Trainer, reveal the Hivemaker, search for Rising Nova, so you almost always get your Rising Nova turn in plays unless you have to G-assist or draw into the 3. And we play 2 copies of Moonmaker Nyanrook.
Oh god, that's adorable.
Yeah, it's a grade 1 with charge, and a GB1 when this unit is charging, he gets +4, and when he leaves the field, he gives another unit +4. So it's nice too because you can make him charging when he's like a booster, so he can be 11k boost if you really need it. Generally not. It's last stage efforts. You're trying to maximize the number of cards with charge you have in your deck, so when you go with your stride turns, you can explode. Then we play 4 heals. The nice thing with Spike Brothers is that with the new shield stride guys, you can go to be on GB1 on your first stride. So you can actually you can push for game on your first stride.
Why no Adelaide?
Which one's Adelaide?
The prettier heel trigger.
The newer one?
Yeah, Adelaide.
This is old school, man. BTO2.
Yeah, but Adelaide's like waifu material.
Waifu material. Yeah, waifu material, bro.
I got the sleeves and everything.
We play 4 copies of Lyre Lips. This is your stride break trigger. So when your Vanguard with Rising Nova attacks, put this card into the soul, and it gives +5 and you draw a card. So this allows you to actually go handless and then get an extra card in your hand while still having attacks. So I play it at 4 just because it's part of my combo turn. Then we play 3 Silence Jokers. I really wanted to run 4, but I didn't. This card, old school, also BTO2. Act from the field, put it into the soul, unflip the damage. Very, very handy. We only play 3 draws, so a lot of people have been asking me why only 3 draws. First, I tell them that this is technically a draw. This is better to try and get the cards and go for the full field push. I like the draws. I feel like I don't need 3. I was tempted to make this 2 to make the 4th Silence Joker, but the draws are nice just because I'm not afraid to actually use it as a booster because most of the time I feel like my Rising Nova never has a boost. So this isn't too bad. And defensively, it's always nice to hit draws. And then, we play 2 stand triggers in Spike Brothers. So this card is probably the weirdest card. You want this to be in your hand or in your deck because he has charge. So he's a unit with charge with GB1. When this unit attacks or boosts, if this unit is charging, you can unflip the damage, soul charge 1, and he gets +3. So it becomes a 70k boost, and he's unflipping damage. The unflipping damage part is the best part of this card because there was a time when I had one in my hand, I had one call from the deck, and I called all of them. And I did it 3 times, I only 2 counterblasts, and I kept going back and forth with it. So I can open up the turns, and actually I pushed for I did 5 damage that one turn because I kept calling the stands. Alright, now for the complicated stride deck. In all actual, you really only need these cards for your stride deck, so everything else can be a choice. So first we play 4 copies of this heal trigger, or I don't know what you call these, the G Guardians. So this is a really easy one to fulfill to be 20k shield. So G Guarding is you discard the heal trigger from your hand to call this unit to the field, so it allows you to get around some of the you can't guard with certain units things. And if you have 3 or less units on the field, it gets +5, so it's a 20k shield almost always. So I just run 4. I'm tempted to run the other one that makes your non-10ks, 10k shields. The Screw or whatever his name is.
Seabreeze?
No,
that's not.
That's
What's
not a
the other
G-Guardian.
one? Damn it.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, speaking of Seabreeze, we play 1 Seabreeze for the grade 2 game. This cost is extremely hefty for Spike Brothers because it's Counterblast 2. But you can actually make your GB1 cards live, which actually hurt us a lot before when they were trying to play the grade 2 game. So this card is a nice addition. There's the game today that I was already at 5 damage and he was on his grade 2 and he played the grade 2 game, even though I don't think he had the 3. But this allowed me to make all of my rear guards active. When you didn't have this card, your offense was so totally slow. And then for the backup strat, Godly Speed, Flash Bruce. Working with Rising Nova, you can basically call 2 units for this card, so if you have the 2 cards in your hand. When he's called, if his attack hits, you can put a card from your hand into your soul to search your deck for any Spike Brother called to the field, and then combo that with Rising Nova, so you get to search 2 on, so you don't even have to hit for Rising Nova. And then if you hit, you get to search another card, so you can actually build a new column. Then for the best card that Spike Brothers has, the only reason why his deck is more viable than Break Red Legion is Shoot Down King Miracle Ace. So he is the strat dude, so his ability is once per turn, counterblast 1, choose a face down unit named him, and turn it face up until the end of turn. When your rear guard is put into the deck, choose up to one of your units and give it +5. So this is ridiculous because like this guy, he stands every time a unit with charge appears in front of it. So if you boost, your dude leaves the deck, give it +5. A new unit with charge appears in front of it, it stands, it's a 12k now. So it synergizes very well with the second part of his ability of, if you're at GB3, you can Soul Blast 2. When your rear guard is put into your deck, you may pay the cost, Soul Blast 2, if you do call a card from your hand to the field. So if you have units with charge in your hand, you just Soul Blast 2 to keep attacking. And this guy gets +5 every time. So there's times where I kept doing the stand trigger, and this was swinging for like, what is it, 7, 14, +20.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. So there's a 37, which is this.
Yeah.
And I was unflipping damage, so I could keep doing this. And I had hive makers that kept like going.
Jesus. Numbers for days.
Yeah, so this is the Spike Brother deck profile, focused around Rising Nova Miracle Ace. I definitely like this card a lot more. Before, I think it was 12 cards in hand with Break Red Legion. But now it's somewhere, I think, around 16, depending on how many cards, what kind of cards you have in your hand, what number of charge units you have available to push. 16 obviously being the better number. And with G-Guardian, being able to G-Guard, if you G-Guard, you're at GB1 already, and then you go into Miracle Ace and do a skill, you'll be at GB3.
Yep.
So on your first stride, you can do all of this shit.
Huh.
The trouble is making sure that like maybe 2 or 3, and you have enough charge units to push for game on that turn.
All right, thanks for sharing, Zag. Check out Zag's channel. Like, comment, subscribe if you guys enjoyed this this video. Thanks, guys.